Hey everybody, I'm Matt.
I'm Keith.
I'm Elijah.
And this is NuggetCast. All right, we're back. We're back for episode 35. Check my math on that. Episode 6 of the reboot. Welcome. This is NuggetCast. This NuggetCast is the stories behind the stories of Dahlonega Nugget stories. So what stories do you have for us today, Keith?
Today I just want to go over something that seems kind of weird, but it's the sewer allocation update. As we've been talking about in the paper, sewer is kind of guiding development now in the county as far as residential, because there's allocation limits for residential. So there's been some updates to that, so I'm just going to review that real quick.
All right. Sewage coming up. What you got?
So we had the girls coach on here, for wrestling before. So I figured, it'd be kind of cool to kind of get the guys' perspective on everything. Another new coach for us. We'll have Go Pat Board come down and sit down with us, and we'll get to know him a little bit, and know who he is, where he comes from, and we're going to bring in Caiden Fradono. This kid's a freshman. He actually wrestled up into a varsity meet this week and went 4-0, which
wow,
that's
all
huge.
right,
A lot of cool stuff.
All right,
exciting.
So, double guests coming up, double wrestling guests. I wanted to start us off with this might be a little awkward for us because there's a mistake in this week's paper. I don't know. Stop the presses. I mean, I know that happens.
That's never happened before.
Believe it or not, it has. I've made a few corrections in my time.
I think I have too, to be honest.
Yeah. So this one, I'll just give you the background. This was really hard to, some of them, I'll just kind of explain to the folks out there what Tuesday morning is like for us. Tuesday morning is like a race against the clock, like the deadline clock. Our deadline is at noon, and we're reading all the pages and handing them back and forth, and we all sign our initials on it. And so if really we're over in Dahlonega, and we don't really see the whole team of people waiting on our paper, but there is a whole team of people waiting,
tapping their feet.
Yeah, right, looking at their watches. That's how I imagine, pacing back and forth. And they're in Cornelia. That's where our press plant is. It's like, and it looks like it's really cool looking. It's like looks like what you think of with the big press plant, with the big like whirling thing. I don't know any technical terms for press plant lingo, but with the big whirling things, So we got to get all that in by noon. It's a scramble, and there's a few pages like your stories are very technical, and we got to watch everything. Mine too. I don't want to mess up and say someone got arrested when they didn't.
Yeah.
So pay a lot of attention to that. There's a few that you're like, well, I don't have to proof that closely. And you would think the crossword puzzle would be one you wouldn't have to look at that much.
Oh, no.
But this week it was.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And what's funny is that has caused some problems in the past. We've had, it's probably about 5 years ago. I used to just look at the crossword puzzle and say, okay, that's a crossword puzzle. That gets through. I'll sign it. It's next to the word search. And one year we ran the wrong words to search for, next to the word search. And I don't know, I feel bad for all the people.
Yeah, that would cause a lot of frustration and potentially headaches.
Yeah, those people were probably I'm so bad at word search. Why can't I find these words? And I would have never known until somebody called up and he was like, hey, can you help me find this word? And I was like, yeah, this poor guy, he needs help. I'll help him out. And then I was wait, no, it's not there. And so that was about 5 years ago. So every crossword puzzle and word search, I do one, the clues, and we have a hard word search or crossword.
Yeah, our crosswords are difficult.
Yeah. And I do one of the word searches, and you do too, right?
Yeah, I usually try to do one of the word searches too. And, to make sure that, like you said, the clues line up with the answers.
They line up.
Yeah.
And this one, man, sometimes they're so hard that it takes a while to find which one I can actually know. But I was like, it was like the one I did this week was Friends with Larry and Curly. So, Mo. It's Mo. That wasn't too
Three
hard.
Stooges, right?
Right, yeah. So
I kind of felt like that one was a little bit before my time.
well, I mean, us too. That was like the 20s or something.
That's supposed to be easy.
Oh, the Three Stooges. No.
I know, like, the whole baseball thing where, like, he's on first, he's on second, third thing, but I've never actually.
I think that was Abbott and Costello, but still. But Three Stooges was like in the 40s or something, so we're not that old. It just can't used to come on TV as a
reruns.
Yeah. But yeah, I thought we were in the clear, and so I'm just gonna show y'all what.
I'm
that's
dying
why I
to
brought
know.
extra
I honestly
copies.
don't know what it was. I'm interested.
Because I probably could have stared at it all day. If you see it, I want the audience to play along at home. So we're going to like flash it up there. So don't say it right away. Just see, I'm going to give you like 10 seconds. See if you can find what is wrong with the crossword puzzle this week. You guys can race. I don't know. Maybe race. I don't know. So we'll flash it up on the screen. Audience, you can play along. You're proofing too.
Oh, I found it.
You found it already.
I'm scared.
The clock is ticking. The press plan is waiting. What is it? Keith found it.
Don't leave me hanging.
Did I say?
Help him out.
Under
Help out,
pressure.
Elijah.
The headers for across and down are missing from the clue section.
Oh, I do see it.
There's no across. There's no down.
Yeah. Wow.
It's the weirdest thing.
But I mean, did they correspond, right? One is one and one is the other. I mean, it
That's
could be
true.
deduced, I imagine.
So it can, like, you could
Yeah.
figure it out. But I got a text from a savvy reader out there. Actually, Grace King Cantrell, wife of NuggetCast founder Jake. She was like, "How am I supposed to do this? This difficulty level is too hard."
Yeah, did you tell her it's just an extra layer of difficulty?
Right.
It was
yeah.
intentional.
This advanced level.
Oh
And
my
I think
goodness.
I think it's kind of funny that we're highlighting like typos. I think personally, like the biggest typo I've ever seen like kind of get put in is like I think one time I put streak and it went in the paper as steak.
Oh
One of my
yeah.
headlines, but it happens.
It does happen.
It's also really easy to say Pumpkin County. Like
Yes,
that
yeah,
autocorrect wants it to be Pumpkin County so
I
badly.
agree. I concur.
Yeah, so that's what happened. I talked to John. It's really there. It's just in the exact same color as gray. so it's invisible. Yeah. So super advanced crossword puzzle this week. But we got a lot of things right though. I mean, the amount of letters and, pages and the words that we have in there, percentage wise.
Absolutely.
We're at like batting 99 point
Yeah.
something. So, yeah, just so you know, if you're doing the crossword puzzle, up is first. Wait, no, not up. Across is first, and then down is the next one. Hopefully, I said that right.
I was thinking the same thing.
Or
I may
no,
confuse
just
that.
I'll be
Yeah.
back. I'll be back next week to explain that. All right, so who do we have? So who's coming in? We got Caiden, right?
Yeah, I want to kick it off with, Caiden, like I said, wrestling's a hard sport in general, but when you think about coming into high school as a freshman and then having to wrestle up, into varsity, that's difficult. And, these schools that they competed against, like there were a lot of bigger, like 6A schools and everything too. So it was a big deal.
All right, so let's bring him in.
Let's do it.
All right, so let's bring in Caiden.
Welcome.
Absolutely.
Thank y'all for having me.
Absolutely. Thanks for making it happen. I know you were in the middle of lifting weights and everything else when we were trying to pull you up here too. So cool stuff. So yeah, I kind of want to set the stage, and like I've kind of alluded to already in the podcast. You come in as a freshman, you're wrestling up, a lot of bigger schools that were in this duels tournament that you're down in there, and you go 4-0. To step up into a varsity meet and compete like that, that's pretty big. So for you personally, what's some big takeaways from that whole thing?
Some big takeaways are just knowing just who's gonna be who I'm around. Just having to step up with these older guys in the room, and with a new coach coming in, kind of just having to show what I'm willing to do, and just knowing who's all going to be in my region for state this year. I mean, some big names in there this year.
So what was that kind of like? Like, I feel like, when you go through that whole process of like, I feel like, if a coach approaches you and say like you're coming in, JV, freshman, when you get hit with that news, hey, you're going to be wrestling up with these older kids, what was that kind of like?
I mean, yeah, at first I was really nervous. I remember the wrestle off. I started getting bad tunnel vision, and I just pulled one of the coaches aside and I was talking to him, and he was like, "You have nothing to be worried about. Like, you're going to go in there, you're going to wrestle how you wrestle." I mean,
and I feel like, with the people that I've kind of talked to in the past already, a lot of people say, wrestling is just, if you've wrestled once, then you know what it's going to be like, the next matchup. So it's just going out there and redoing everything that you've already learned. But would you say there was any differences between, stepping up? Was, the competition level any different than what you were used to?
I mean, yeah, for sure. Once you hit high school, these kids, they're a lot better. I know, because they're just a lot older and everything. There's kids that have more experience than you. It's always different stepping into each match. Like,
You talked about some big names in the region. Do you guys do with wrestling any kind of like, I don't know if opposition research is the right term, but do you actually study footage of some of your opponents in the region to kind of like, see what kind of moves they tend to go to, or is not really any review like that in wrestling?
no, for sure. There's definitely matches I've watched of some of my guys.
Okay.
I mean, it's like football. You gotta kind of know who you're going against before you actually step out on that line.
Right.
I mean, watching them warm up and everything, like, you watch the match they have just to see who you'll be against.
So when you get word that you're going to be wrestling, I mean, these 18-year-olds. These guys can like vote, right? Like, they can serve in the military. Like, so you said you got tunnel vision. What do you do to like not be scared in that situation? I can tell you, like, I'm 47. I'd be scared in that situation. Like, if you said I was going to wrestle an 18-year-old, they'd keep the ambulance like nearby. But so what do you do to calm down? Is there something like some kind of process, or do you just tell yourself, calm down? Like,
I mean, honestly, no, there's not really a process.
there's no secret.
You just go in there scared. It's more of a, you got to know that, especially if you've been wrestling for a long time. I think this will be my 9th year. So I know how I wrestle. I know kind of what I need to be doing. So it's kind of just a calming of just kind of stick to the basics almost when you get real nervous.
Kind
like
of fall back on your training, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And what's the old saying? Like, there is no courage without fear, So that's kind of cool. It's kind of cool. But like, so we've kind of already set the stage, 4-0, but you get hit with the news, you're kind of nervous. But what did that week look like, just leading into the meet? Did you do anything different with your training? Maybe looking ahead, knowing like you had like these older athletes and that you're going up against?
For sure. I definitely felt that sense to work harder than I normally was. Get into that room and just start grinding. But it was also more of a preparing myself mentally more than anything, with just that, again, like I said, I was nervous up until I stepped out there for the first match, and it was just a mental preparation for me.
And then, for our listeners, kind of put them there. You go out and you compete in these 4 matches, kind of break down what happened. Was it all 4 pins? How did everything kind of play out for you?
Yeah, so at the beginning of the tournament, the team struggled a little bit because we had been cut short for our warm-up, and we were going in to our first match coming off of a bye. So after that, we'd wrestle. Like, we had 4 in a row. We didn't really catch any breaks. But, yeah, I went out there, and luckily I pinned all the kids, 3 of them in the first, and then the kid from East Side, the school that was hosting us, he took a bit longer, but that for sure was a good match for me.
And, that was actually one of my next questions is, would you consider that Eastside kid to be one of your tougher opponents? And, like, why would you say he was tougher than the other kids?
Yeah, he was definitely probably my hardest match of the day, for sure. I'd say he was probably tougher. He definitely had experience on him, He wasn't brand new or anything. He had definitely been wrestling for a long time. I'm sure he had experience in regions or something. He had been on varsity for a while. You could tell. Like,
And, I kind of want to bring this up because, I've kind of been around you since you were little. So when I first got around Caiden, he used to have, this long hair. And I don't know if anybody on here is, MMA fans, but I always called him Little Clay Guida because that's what he always remind me of. But, I feel like wrestling, is hard in general, just the things you guys kind of go up against. And, just to kind of hear positive reviews of saying, hey, you did good out there, or hey, you remind me of this person. What does that mean towards the mental aspect of, just being a wrestler?
I mean, yeah, for sure. It definitely, it feels weird at sometimes because sometimes you'll get compared to someone that's like, well, why are you comparing me to that person? Like, that person never really did anything. But it's also like a kind of a sense of respect for hey, you're comparing me to one of these top athletes in their sport. Like Clay Guida was a phenomenal fighter. And I mean, yeah, that always kind of stuck with me because that was someone I had watched.
Really?
So, I mean, I knew who that was, and that stuck as a form of respect to being compared to a top athlete.
That's cool. And another thing I kind of like doing when I kind of sit down with other athletes is I like to give them the opportunity to highlight some of their teammates as well. And, a lot of people may not know it, but wrestling it's a team sport, when you get out there in duels. So if you were to kind of pick out somebody on your team that you feel is doing something, really good this season, who would you pick out and why?
I'd give a shout out to Jacob Mary. He's for sure getting out there. He's grinding after it this year. He came up a little short last year, and I can see that kind of stuck with him to drive him into this year. He's for sure putting in that work.
And he's on the younger end as well, too. What is he? He's a sophomore?
Yeah, he's a sophomore this year. So
yeah, so he's doing really well too. So that's another kid that we can kind of be excited for. Looking ahead to everything. Mm-hmm. So back to you personally. We still got a lot of the season to go. So what would you say some ultimate goals are for you? Just kind of looking ahead to everything.
I mean, ultimate goals are. I'm really taking it one step at a time right now. So, I mean, once regions hits, I'd like to qualify for sectionals. After sectionals, move on to state.
Cool. And, you've kind of gotten to be around Go Badpoor and everything, and, just kind of a new coach. And, what's that been like for you kind of coming in, we had Hagen everybody before, and then you kind of get up here and just Go Badpoor, and everything is kind of fitting into, a different thing. So what was that transition kind of like for you?
Yeah, the transition was definitely different. It's different coaching style, different work ethic, different intensity in the room. And I feel like towards the beginning, it was harder to make that transition just growing up with Haig in the room, him being the main head coach. But definitely now, I'm thankful Coach Gobad's in the room. He's an amazing coach. Honestly, I respect him a lot. And he's always going in there with a game plan, with what's going to go for the team and how to just fit the pieces in there. Because I know we were supposed to be giving up 3 weight classes at that tournament.
Yep.
And he made it to where during East Side, we only gave up 1. And so, I mean, it's all just him planning it out strategically. He's a very good coach.
So he's going to be joining us soon. How would you describe his coaching style? Is he your friend coach, or is he more hard on you, or
Yeah, no, he's definitely our friend when it comes down to it, but when work needs to get done, work's going to get done. He brings a new intensity to the room when it needs to be.
And cool. Sorry, I didn't know. But one of the things that kind of brought up to me is when I went to, Ryan's coming back to wrestling this year, so I kind of go to his practice. But one of the things that was mentioned to me is there's this new intensity in practice itself. I've kind of heard it's next level. So what is that like for you?
Yeah, I love the new intensity. Me personally, I think it brings competition to the room. That's always going to get all the guys in there better, knowing that you're competing with these people around you to see who can outwork everyone else.
Cool. Dude, I should know this, but do y'all get walk-up music like in baseball? Like, I feel like you should have that. Like, if you did, what would your intro be? Not to put you on the spot.
No, I know at state they normally do for
Right.
the finalists. You'll walk out to I Can Feel It by Phil Collins.
Yeah, that's the go-to, isn't it?
That's the main one.
Do you have a personal one? Like, you have a personal preference, or you're good with that?
I always liked watching Dustin Poirier in MMA growing up, so I'd probably walk out to Diamonds like he did.
Yeah.
All right, good to know.
The Diamond
Should bring a
Standard.
Bluetooth speaker out to somebody, like to see.
Awesome. Cool. I think that kind of wraps up all the questions I had for you, man. I mean, awesome stuff going out there and doing that. That's a big deal. I'm looking forward to seeing what you do this year for us.
Thank you.
Thanks, Caiden.
Thanks.